when the Sandy Hook shooting happened. I remember vividly, as the father of a 5-year-old, just being horrified at the idea that parents sent their little kindergartners off to school and they never came home.
I was in Las Vegas attending a 3-day music festival, and on the last night, a gunman began firing down into the crowd, and we found ourselves in the middle of what would become our country's deadliest mass shooting.
In the shooting of 2016 in Mukilteo, my son was seriously injured. 3 of his friends were killed. I couldn't just sit back and let other people address the issue.
In 2012, I thought, wow, I wish we could do something, but I'm not sure that we can do anything. The National Rifle Association was so powerful that there was no possibility. We worked hard with what then became the Alliance to run a bill that would require universal background checks. There was huge attention to whether we would be able to get this bill out of the House, because nothing like this had been tried in living memory in the legislature, and ultimately did not have enough votes to bring the bill to the floor. We took what we learned from drafting that bill, and that helped to do the initial building of the Alliance, which came back then the following year, and the passage of Initiative 594, an initiative that would require background checks before any purchase of a firearm.
Everyone who's involved with the Alliance has some sort of story to tell. Seeing the progress that we've made together, it keeps me going.
The next really big idea that bubbled up was the idea of extreme risk protection orders. What we found was that the Alliance were able to turn out hundreds of people to come to hearings to talk to their legislators. I think people got less and less patient with the idea that we were just going to send thoughts and prayers.
It's painful to witness the level of gun violence in our culture. I feel it when I read the news. I've been impacted by it directly, and I've witnessed the pain and suffering and deep grief of the parents when they lost their kids. No parent should have to go through that.
If I was going home and reuniting with my family and 58 others were not, I wanted to dedicate my life to attempting to try and make this world a better place.
There's often a narrative that we just want to come through and take everyone's guns away. That's not the case, but there are measures we can take that are proven to save lives, like the high-capacity magazines bill.
The seconds that it takes a shooter to stop and reload, that is when you have the opportunity to start running. It's these precious seconds that will be saving lives.
In the 2022 session, we were finally able to pass a ban on high-capacity magazines.
Watching Governor Inslee sign this bill into law, it was a very, very proud moment. Seeing this room filled with all of the people who've been working so hard for so many years to make this happen, and finally it's a reality. It is one of the best feelings you could ever ask for.
We could not have the ban on high-capacity magazines if it was not for the Alliance. And having that wonderful organization that knows what they're talking about, knows how to be an advocate, can bring together a grassroots coalition. Look, let's be honest, that's what moved the legislature. The people were way ahead of the politicians when it comes to common sense gun reform, and the Alliance really embodies that grassroots spirit.
You know, the gun violence prevention movement has predominantly been white-led for so long. It's essential that we continue to view our work through an equity lens, and I'm so excited that the Alliance is committed to that. You know, our statewide Black chapter team, that's the first of its kind. Seeing that the Alliance is really making those internal steps and also those steps in our communities throughout the state is just so promising.
I think that the story of the Alliance for Gun Responsibility is one of the best examples of how committed people can advocate for change, can change minds, and change hearts, and change laws. It's hard to think of anything that is more of a tonic in this time than knowing that we have the ability to make our community better.
Sometimes organizing can get tiring. You get people to show up and turn out and, join the cause with you. It's like, wow, this was all worth it.
We're at a pivot point in our society when it comes to gun violence, which makes our work even more urgent, and the importance of supporting the Alliance even more urgent today than it has been in recent years.
There's a lot of resistance, but step by step by step, incrementally, the Alliance is getting that work done.